So the Montana trip, first of all, Wyoming. If you just talk about what you got out of it in terms of a wrestling team, but what you got out of it personally, because it's kind of a special trip.
Well, yeah, obviously going to Montana, finishing up in Montana and getting to Jarrett's hometown. And I've had a long relationship with Jarrett, and Coach St. John's had a long relationship with Jarrett. We've had him for, this is year 6 now. So, we've known his family and been close to his family. And his dad and I have been talking about this for a couple of years. And so it was nice to get out there, and the people of the community really came out and embraced it and embraced him. And Charlie's a Montana guy too. So it was good for both those guys. And, I think we did our job in Wyoming. It was a tough team, and we kind of went out there and took it to them.
Of the individuals who went out there, which ones were you take the most, glean the most out of it?
Well, I think, Marcus Coleman did a good job. He, probably beat at that time a top 12 guy. I think he was probably the guy that, had the biggest quality win. But I felt we competed across the board hard. Even in the matches we lost, we were right there with, top 10 guys. So a lot of good things from it.
How exciting was it for you when Isaac Judge went in and got that pin?
Yeah, that was great. He kind of, I don't want to say he was struggling, but, he's been up and down a little bit. And, we've got some competition at that spot. And obviously going out there and getting that pin helped the team and probably helped him in that cause. We got some things to figure out there, but I was excited for him.
What would you say are his challenges, and what are those things you got to work on?
Well, he's just got to, progress and get more offense more than anything. And that's kind of where we've struggled at 165 is somebody's just got to step up and get offense. I tell him all the time, the fans like points. So go put points on the board and good things will happen.
What has really fueled you and driven you to, put these matches on the schedule with, unique locations, unique connections? What continues to drive that every season?
I think, last year COVID drove it, and this year just kind of timing of matches that didn't happen and conversations that happened in the past years. And so we caught up a little bit on maybe our to-do list of wrestling. So next year will probably be more traditional, but, we had some people to take care of this year, and I felt like it was good timing for our team, and so be it.
What do you hope this does, for the sport of wrestling and really your younger guys as they step into that collegiate role?
I think it was good for our guys to go to, we kind of took a second tier to Montana. I think it was good for those guys to feel what it's like to be on the road and travel and compete. So I hope, that fuels them as they go forward. The starters, we just kind of got to get back in the routine. We missed the grind a little bit last year because everything was so goofy. So, we've got a weigh-in Sunday, and then we get on an airplane and go to Oklahoma and got 2 tough opponents, and it's a little bit more normal, and we need that right now.
So, North Dakota State coming down here to where it's warm from Fargo.
Yeah.
What are you looking for this weekend?
Well, they're tough. I tell you, they're kind of on a roll. If you look at their last month, they went out to Wyoming and kind of handled Wyoming right after we did. And they've had a couple good wins before that. So I can tell you they're going to come into this with the thought of winning the dual meet. And so we have to be able to handle that. We've kind of elevated ourselves through the year into a top 10 team. And when you get to that level, people are trying to take your head off. And we have to understand that, and we have to respond, and we have to meet that excitement that they're going to bring in here.
David, everybody has obviously continued high expectations, but that your career is a journey, and what do you think what can he refine from his repertoire as the defending national champion?
David's been, I don't want to say a surprise, but he's just been refreshing in, his work ethic continues to get better and better as he gets older. His attention to detail continues to get better and better. obviously winning that national title fired him up, and so he knows he's got a turf to defend, and he's excited about defending it. And also, he's a guy, he wants to go win the Hodge, and how many sophomores want to go win the Hodge? And so he knows what that bar is too. It's not just winning; it's going out and dominating guys, and so that's where he set his goals. And he's a guy on a mission right now. I'd be surprised to see him stumble much going forward.
I wanted to ask quick, you were talking about guys who've been with the program 6 years.
Yeah.
Would you have done a 6th year?
That's a hard question to ask me. I think when I was that age, I probably would have. I think the people that are really wrestling nuts would have. And I was surprised Jarrett did. I just kind of thought his wick was burnt out a little bit. He had a lot of injuries. I was surprised that he came back, and right now he's wrestling as good as he's wrestled in a long time. I can tell his excitement level. Maybe he sees the light at the end of the tunnel, but his excitement level is high. Ian Parker's a wrestling crazy nut, so he'd take an 8th year if you gave it to him. So that's just Ian.
How have you seen the rest of your team respond to having a guy like David, who is a sophomore but is so committed to the craft?
Well, I tell him all the time, watch, learn, study, copy, plagiarize, because he does a lot of things right.
And then with Marcus Coleman, he's had a pretty good season so far. He seems pretty consistent on the mat. In past seasons, you've said all it would take was for Marcus to really hone in on his the mental side of competing. How have you seen him turn the switch?
Well, I asked him last weekend. I said, Marcus, you're a different guy this year. What's the reason? He said, I just got tired of blankety blank losing, and that might have summed it up more than anything. And when you get tired of losing and you have his ability, then you start winning. And so he's got some good tests ahead of him. I'm curious to see, I challenge him to continue to separate himself and go get some bonus points for the team now, and get it down to 10 guys in the nation, the top 10 guys, and blow the rest of them out of the water. And I think he's trying to do that.
Younger at 197, he's been quite a surprise this season. Of course, only had one loss so far. Looking ahead, he has potentially a matchup against AJ Ferarri of Oklahoma State. How well prepared do you think he is to handle those kinds of?
I think he's going to be excited about that weekend. Let me interrupt you for 1 second. Smalley, put that over there by the door. Coming in the door, there's a clipboard. Get them all coming in that door right there. Little coaching work there. We got to worry about this guy first. That's a good question. Ask me next week. But this dude from North Dakota State wrestles harder than just about anybody on their team. They're 157 and they're 197 wrestle really hard. So if we look past this one at 197, we're in trouble, because this kid can wrestle. He pinned the number 2 seed in the nation last year, first round at the national tournament. So he's got our attention.
What is it like coaching him and navigating through those conversations of, honing his emotions, cleaning up the little things? What is that like with Younger?
Well, he continues to improve, but there's a lot of improvement left there. Just the whole way you're raised over there, and the whole way you've been taught to train. It's like, kind of learning how to ride a bike different. And he's in the process of that. So he's jumped so many hurdles, but he had so many more hurdles to jump than a lot of guys. The one thing that he's got going for him is he's a tremendous athlete, and he's a tremendous competitor. Now we just got to get him to understand the preparation part of it is what's going to really make you famous and put you at the top and put you in conversations with AJ Ferarri. But if you don't have the preparation part, you're not going to touch him. And he's starting to figure that out daily. I like his progress, but we're not there yet.